NBA will be in Oklahoma City next season, playing their games. The transition and the move of this operation and this team begins tomorrow morning from Seattle to Oklahoma City.
Since 2008, Seattle basketball fans have been without a team to root for. But with the Seahawks becoming dominant again and hockey coming to the city, it only makes sense for the NBA to take a second look. But with such short notice and only one expansion team, owners voted against an expansion draft. Without an expansion draft, the Seattle Supersonics only had one option to turn to. Introducing the BumSquad. This is a realistic rebuild series in NBA 2K20 current gen, taking heavy inspiration from RBT series The Rejects, a Madden series with a similar setup. Each video will consist of 1 week's worth of actions in my league, featuring the worst of worst NBA players and hopefuls. Each week, you, the viewers, will vote for one player to receive a 1-week tryout. After this tryout, you will again vote to give the player a contract or not. There are a few rules that we have to follow in order to make this challenge as hard as possible. Until we reach a .500 record with a 10-game minimum, we cannot accept or offer any trades. Once we reach this threshold, we can only acquire players 75 overall and under until we manage to finish a season above .500. Once we finish the season above .500, the threshold is increased to 85 overall and under. Once we make the playoffs, the threshold is increased to 90 overall and under. And finally, once we win one playoff series, there is no limit to who we can sign or trade for. Any players in the draft are exempt from these rules. Now, without further ado, let's introduce the BumSquad. Starting at point guard, and our only point guard, is Jeremy Lin. 31 years old, out of China, Jeremy Lin tried to join the Warriors this year, but didn't receive a letter from the CBA in time to actually sign a contract. Next up, starting at shooting guard, a player that everyone knows, Kamani White, better known as Flight Reacts. He might not be much in his current state, but if we make the finals in June, he will be a dangerous asset for the team. And starting at small forward, and this is a bit of surprise, but as I was building the roster, I saw this name and couldn't resist, Travis Scott. He might not amount to much in the league, but we can be sure that his pregame fits will always be absolute heat. Starting at power forward, and perhaps one of the biggest NBA busts of all time, Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett was supposed to be the next LeBron for the Cavs and couldn't even begin to meet those expectations. But in Seattle, where expectations couldn't be lower, this is a perfect situation for Anthony Bennett to thrive. And finally, starting at center, if Anthony Bennett wasn't the biggest bust, then this guy is Georgios Papagiannis. At 7'3" and only 23 years old, even if his skills aren't all there, he's a young, tall body to put on the court. Our sixth man is none other than shooting guard LiAngelo Ball. LeVar Ball finally has all three sons on an NBA roster once again, and while it might not be the best situation out of the three, LiAngelo Ball has a chance to be the hero Seattle needs. There's not many other players of notability. Want to name one, Nick Young, better known as Swaggy P, and the rest are all just bums with either funny names or low ratings that I could find. I don't expect them to last long. Notably Dragon Bender, Elise Johnson, and Dusty Hannas. In the description there will be a straw poll with 3 players you can vote on to have a tryout in the next video. Feel free to suggest other players that should receive a tryout in the future, and they could end up in a future poll. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the first week of the BumSquad.